Well, good evening and welcome to the All Sports All Plays Network. This is the ASAP Network post game show. Um, I'm your host, Freddie Henderson. I'm joined from our guest analyst, Mr. Logan. What's up with Logan? How you doing tonight?
Hey, what up, Freddie? I'm doing pretty good, man. Hey, we just watched a great game. I'm ready to get give my opinions on it. I know that.
Hey man, let's go. Let's go.
Feel it.
Before we go get into it, please let everybody know your role here at the network. Since this is your first show on the network, and let them know what they can expect.
Yeah, so a little bit of backstory about me. I'm basically going to be a guest analyst, and I'm coming over from a show called 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. We do some live videos about NFL and college stuff Mondays and Wednesdays. We do about 5 to 6 videos each week, and then Fridays we got a little basketball segment. We feature history videos, player profiles, team previews, game previews, everything like that. And then it's pretty cool because we have a former NFL player on our team, Bobby Butler. He used to play for the Falcons back in the 80s. And each week he brings on one of his friends who used to play in NFL or college, and we get to chat up with them. But yeah, definitely go check us out. We also got a podcast on Spotify and Apple as well. So looking forward to getting more stuff out for that.
All right, cool, man. So we seen where the Lakers are going against Miami Heat game 2 tonight, and I must say they looked pretty easy for most of it.
Yeah.
The Lakers won 124 to 114. It was led by LeBron James. Lakers were led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They both had historical nights. They both showed us why they're the greatest duo in basketball, in my opinion. But I mean, like I said, Anthony Davis had 32 points, 14 rebounds, so 75% from the field, with LeBron James almost having another triple double and 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. Can we go ahead and say this series is over?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Especially if you let LeBron and AD both score 30 on you, I think this is back-to-back games as well. You're gonna have a rough night no matter what. And the Lakers, the thing about them, they didn't even shoot great from three tonight. They only shot about 34, 35%. So I remember watching the game, and Davis went on a huge hot streak. I think he was 11 or something insane like that. And he was getting easy buckets. Something I noticed during the game is the Heat were playing the zone defense, and the Lakers were picking that apart. They'd usually have like Rondo or Caruso, one of their guys, in the middle of the key, and then they could just dish it out to whoever's on the wings and on the corner, and then they could just pop a three. Now in the first half, it was working a lot better. They were hitting more shots. But then, of course, LeBron and AD, they were going to get their buckets no matter what. They're just two offensive stars for that team. But yeah, the role players on their team, they did pretty good tonight. They shined a lot better in the first half than they did the second half. But overall, it was a pretty good game for the Lakers. One area they definitely need to improve on, though, is their fouls, because they gave up. Let me see. Yeah, they gave up. What is it? How many free throws? Yeah, they gave up 31 free throws. So that is definitely an area for improvement because, look, I don't care what team you are. If you're able to get 31 free points against this team, that might come back to bite you. But, the Lakers, they held out. Their offense was more overpowering tonight like we all thought, and they were able to get the win.
Yeah, I agree. Now, let's not forget that, Miami was was without Dragic and Bam. If they would have played, do you think the Lakers would have still won, or do you think Miami could have took this game?
That's a tough question because this was a game of two halves for me. Watching it, the first half was complete Lakers domination, but then after halftime, it showed Udonis Haslem. I think he's 40, but he's won 3 rings for the Heat. But he was giving them a heck of a speech, and got them fired up, and they went on a pretty nice run because they were down, I believe, 15 at halftime or something close to that. And the closest they got to was, I think, 7. So they made a good run. They didn't quit fighting. Their defense got a lot better in the second half. But like you said, with Dragic, who was, I think, their second highest scorer in the playoffs, and then with Bam, who was their defensive anchor down in the paint, that really hurt them, I believe. But they did have some good people come up for them. Olynyk had a solid game. He had 24 off the bench, which I don't think anyone thought he would explode like that. They had Myers Leonard starting the game, but he only played for 9 minutes. So they probably just threw him out there just to have like a defensive just kind of arrangement, but that ended up not working at all. So they put Kelly out there, and Kelly had a solid game. He shot 9 of 16 from the field. I mean, you can't really ask for much more for a bench guy like that. He played for 37 minutes as well, so real solid. But yeah, it definitely hurt that Dragic and Adebayo weren't out there. But they had their bench pieces and their other players step up pretty good. But look, man, the Lakers are just too overpowering. Not just on offense, but everyone knows how good they are on offense. But their defense is really good as well. That's something that I think a lot of people don't like to talk about or just kind of brush over just because you got Davis and LeBron. Their defense is solid. They got Caruso, who is one of the most kind of, I would say, slept-on defenders in the league. He's really tenacious and is willing to just, risk his body, life, and limb for that ball. And they also have some pretty good defenders as well. KCP, we know he didn't have the best night shooting, but he's always going to be a defensive threat. Danny Green as well. Those two are really solid on the wings. But Dwight Howard has really impressed me. If I had to pick like a most improved player for the playoffs, I'd go with Howard just because he has been putting center after center on, getting bruised and scrapes after every game, the way he's been able to really just kind of get inside their head and really kind of be a more physical center that we used to see back in the day.
Right. Let's kind of change the subject. I'm going to read a quote from Kyrie Irving. I just wanted to know what your thought about this quote. It says, he was on the Kevin Durant's podcast, and Kevin Durant's moderator asked him this. Asked him, what does it feel like? Basically, this is not the actual quote, but he basically said, what do you think about, having a dude like Kevin Durant be able to close this way, or do you think, or who's the closer basically on this Brooklyn? Who will be the closer on this Brooklyn Nets team? Mm-hmm. And he said, I feel like I was the best option on every team I've played from down the stretch. This is the first time where I can be like that. That B can make that shot too. What are your thoughts on that? Because, this dude that played with the LeBron James, yeah. Dude that's, helped Kyrie, deliver a championship in Miami. In Cleveland when they went on a 57-year drought. But even though Kyrie, we do know that he did hit that big shot. Yeah. But, I just didn't think, he would say something like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I know the quote that you're talking about, and he tried to misconstrue it as the media were kind of, taking it out of context when, no, it's cut and dry. That's what he said on the podcast. So there's no really kind of getting out of this one. But I don't think he meant it to kind of diss LeBron or anybody. I think he just tried to do it to kind of hype up Kevin Durant. But I know what you're saying. The shot that he hit in the finals a couple of years ago with Cleveland, that was one of the most clutch shots we've seen in basketball history. Let's just be honest with us. The shot he had on the Warriors. But LeBron isn't really a jump shooter, and we all know that. He's more of a driver, and he'll get to the bucket. He's not the most. He has improved dramatically over the years on his jump shooting. But Kevin Durant's a different animal. We've seen him time and time again hit shots that we don't think anyone could hit. And Kevin Durant's got that killer instinct that LeBron has as well. They're very even in terms of being clutch and closing out games. But if I had to pick, which one would I want? Would I want KD or would I want LeBron to close out games? I would go with LeBron personally, just because LeBron is always going to have that threat of driving to the cup, and then he could always, dish it out if he needs to. And we've seen him time and time again match up against any defender that's willing to come against him and just, stare him right in the eyes, back him down a little bit, hit a jab step, and hit a three. So, yeah, I still got LeBron on this one, but KD is definitely no slouch, and I've always loved his game. But, I don't think this was any shots at LeBron that a lot of people are maybe saying, but I think he was just trying to hype up Kevin.
All right, I got you. If the Lakers win this championship, LeBron has played with great teammates, by the way. Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving, and now Anthony Davis. Would Anthony Davis be his best teammate that he's played with over his career?
It's funny you ask, because I saw on Twitter earlier that someone asked, I forget who it was, they asked Dwayne Wade that exact same quote that you just told me. And even D Wade agreed that Anthony Davis is a better, was more of a dominant teammate in terms of just the way that they're killers on the court. But yeah, the AD and LeBron combo is, we knew whenever they got Davis this last year that it was going to be something special, but I don't think anyone thought it was going to be this dominant. Now, look, I know whenever they got Davis in that trade, that everyone was thinking, man, did they give up too much? Because they gave up Lonzo, who's in my opinion just going to be kind of he's going to be around for a while, but he's not going to be a superstar like they thought he was, and they picked him at number 2 overall. I mean, that's fine. He'll be around for a while, but he's never going to be a superstar. Ingram, who, in my opinion, has the highest potential of the 3 guys that got traded. He's looked really good for the Pelicans, and he's going to be really good for years to come. And then Josh Hart is just going to be a bench guy. Honestly, he's going to be just hit 2. He's just going to shoot 3s, and that's about it. And then they gave up a couple draft picks or something like that. But if you could trade all that for a championship in your first year, I'll do it 100 out of 100 times. But the thing about this is that the thing with Davis is, like, everyone knows he's a lethal inside and mid-range shooter, but we know he's clutch as well. He hit that game winner against the Nuggets this past series, and he's not a great 3-point shooter, but he's not horrible either. Right. And I feel like if he can get like a consistent 3-point shot, because it's still not money every time he shoots it, but if he can get more and more, because I don't even think he's 30 yet, so that's even scarier, because this guy's already at, you said 25?
I think so, 25 or 27, one of the two.
Yeah, because I know he was drafted in, I believe, what was it, 2011, 2012? Yeah. So, yeah, he's got some experience on him. So, yeah, he's 27. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's no. He's just now getting into his prime, because he came in right out of college, and I think he had to be, probably 19? He was really young. And so he's been able to get that experience and that seasoning. I know he played with the Pelicans for his whole career, and they didn't really do much at all. But we've seen that he's been a superstar for really ever since he came into the league. Once he came in, he was a star for the Pelicans. He's been their best, probably one of their best in the franchise's history, honestly. And then to get him for a starter in Ingram, and then 2 bench pieces in Lonzo and Hart and some draft picks. I mean, I'll do that any day out of the week. And to get Davis, who's in his prime and is only going to get better after learning from guys like LeBron. And then also, he might not play much, but J.R. Smith is there as well. And we know just how good of a shooter that he is. And he's also learning more stuff in the paint from Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. So he's getting all of this knowledge from these veterans who've been around for years, who've been proven to hit shot after shot and be, good defenders. We're talking about Dwight here. But yeah, I love this LeBron and AD combo, and it's going to be scary for as long as it'll run its course. I watch out for the rest of the league.
Like I said, we have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But we have, on the other side, you have a dude by the name Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. What do you think he has to do to beat this Laker team? I mean, it's a tall task. I mean, it's not easy. But do you think there's something that he can do, or this team can help beat this team, or you think it's just no matter what, it's over?
I think if they want to get at least a couple of wins, I don't see them winning the finals. But if they want to make this more competitive, they need to get Dragic and Adebayo back as quick as possible. I know it's looking like Adebayo might be back a little bit sooner, because I think he just had like a minor neck injury, nothing too serious. And I think with Dragic, he had like a plantar fasciitis of the foot or something like that, a little bit more serious, and he might not come back. So if you can get him back, if you can get both of them, that would help them tremendously. But as for Butler, let's see, he shot 7 of 17 tonight, so that wasn't the best per se. He got 25 points, and I know that they said before the game he wanted to be more aggressive shooting the ball. There were some instances during the game where I thought that he shouldn't have passed up this look to give it to a teammate, that he should have either drove or made the shot or tried to make it. We know he's not a 3-point shooter by any means, and that's not knocking him at all. That's just the way some guys are. But he only shot 1 3, and he shot he did get 11 of 12 free throws, so that definitely helped him out in that regard. But if he wants to really get this team behind him, I think that he's got to get Tyler Hero more involved, and he also needs to get Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn to get a few more shots up. and to knock a few more down, because Nunn was 3 of 7 for the game and got 13 points, but 6 of those were just from free throws. He was, I think, third in Rookie of the Year voting, so they definitely need to get him rolling some. And then for Duncan Robinson, we know he's just a 3-point menace. He'll shoot threes every day. He only got 9 points on 2 of 7 shooting, so they definitely need to hit their threes a lot better. And then Tyler Hero, he had an okay game. Shot 5 of 12 with 17. We know he can do a little bit better than that. It wasn't a bad game, per se. He didn't shoot horribly, but they just need more. And sometimes good isn't what you need. And you need to be on your A game every single minute when you're facing off against this absolutely loaded Lakers lineup. So, yeah, last thing I got to say about that question, man, is they got to just get their bench pieces to hit a few more shots. And Butler as well, because like I said, he missed 10 shots. But if he can make up for it on the free throw line. So, yeah, that's all I got for that one.
Man, we understand, you have Butler, you have Bam, you have Dragic, you have Kelly Olynyk, or how you say his name, the center.
Yeah.
You do have, Jay Crowder, you have Andre Iguodala, and you have David Robinson, Duncan Robinson, and you have Tyler Hero. Mm-hmm. Out of those, which one needs to be like the second main guy? Do you agree with me that it has to be a Tyler Hero, that he has to shoot the ball better, he has to be more effective on the offensive end?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that opinion that you got, man. Because we've seen that Tyler Hero is only 20, and he's already looking like a breakout superstar in this league, at least for his this year. He's only got room to improve, and I think that if they lose this finals, that he's just going to grow from this. And he might get some of that Giannis mindset or that Butler mindset of just, all right, I'm going to go to work every day, get even better, which is already pretty scary because we've seen he's one of the most talented young guys in the league. But, yeah, they need Hero to, I guess, step up even more. Like I said, that's hard for him to do, though, because that Lakers defense is pretty scary as well. You might not look at it on paper and be like, hey, KCP, Danny Green, and all these other guys, but – if you watch the games, then they're very high energy. Even Kuzma as well. We know that he hasn't had the best series, but he's impacting shots in ways that you guys just might not notice because he's going over to guys with the ball and he's making them pass out of it. It's just kind of the small things like that help win championships. And for me, the Heat, they do that. They do that for a good amount of the game, but I guess they might just get tired or worn down. I don't know if it's just kind of the stress that they've been under, since this restart or whatever, or they might just be the Lakers just tiring them down.
Right.
If they can get that defensive, mindset for the whole game, and if they can get Hero, getting some more shots up, then they might have a chance.
All right, last question for the night. You have LeBron James dropping 30, if Anthony Davis dropping 30. And like 14 rebounds. You have LeBron nearly averaging a triple-double. We talked about this before the show. Who is your finals MVP? Me first, I think we both agree. To me, it's Anthony Davis. But do you agree with that? And why?
Yeah, I'm with you. But there's really no wrong answer right there because it's like 1A and then 1B right there. You got Davis, who's been playing out of his mind. Like I said earlier, he shot like 11 of 11 at one point. He just could not miss. The way that he was bullying the inner defenders in the paint on like some offensive rebounds was just absolutely disgusting. And then LeBron's always going to beat LeBron. We know how great he is and how he can help his teammates out in many other ways. And, not just as just scoring points and being on the court, but also as the assist. He led the league in assists this year at 35. And then he had 9 tonight. Yeah, so he was close to a triple-double. And then pairing that with Davis's 14 rebounds. Yeah, I got Davis as the MVP right now, but LeBron could very well, if Davis has a bad game in Game 3 on Sunday, and LeBron takes over and scores 45, then LeBron might get bumped right back up. There's no wrong answer. To me, LeBron is the MVP of the league every year that he's been on the court for the last 10 some odd years. The awards might not show it, but he's been to the finals, 9 of the last 10 years. And if you're, that dude is the most valuable person to his team. Now, the way the finals are, you can kind of see that torch is slowly being passed over to AD. Just because we know that in the past, LeBron's had to take shots where, he might not have been comfortable taking them, or he couldn't give it to someone else. To be honest, the other guys might just not have been ready for the moment. But he knows that he's got Davis, who's an absolute. He's growing into that killer mindset. We've seen, especially during the playoffs, because sometimes throughout the year you'd watch him and be like, man, I don't know why he didn't shoot that, But we see now that LeBron's kind of getting into his head, like, dude, you're an absolute beast on the court. You can hit any shot you want to, and you can absolutely terrorize defenders for nights on end. But yeah, so to answer your question, just this last statement here, I do have Davis getting the MVP as of this moment.
I know I said this last question, but I just had to ask one more.
Go ahead.
If the Lakers win this championship, to me, he's proven it. This dude is year 17. He's 35 years old. LeBron James. He'll have 4 championships, been to 10 NBA finals. Something a lot of folks can't say they've done. Would that eclipse him over Michael Jordan? Me personally, I think he's better than Michael Jordan, a better overall player. When LeBron entered the court, he's trying to make his teammates better. He's not. The crazy thing is, he's not a scorer, but he's pretty darn good scorer for that. That looks to get his teammates involved. The dude, he's a winner. What is your thoughts on that?
Look, this is going to be a question that's asked long after we're gone, man. But like you say, LeBron might not be a scorer, but he's third all time in terms of points being scored. Only behind Karl Malone, who I think a lot of people forget is the second most, has the second most points of all time, and then, Kareem. And then Michael is fifth on that list he's about 2,000 points behind. But like you said, LeBron's played for 17 years now, and then Michael played for close.
Like 15, 16.
Yeah, so around that same area. But the thing with me is that what kind of gives LeBron the edge right now is really, one is health advancements, because we see LeBron treats his body like a temple. I saw a while ago that he puts $1 million each offseason into trainers and just diets and chefs and stuff like that. And Michael wasn't doing all that. I'm sure he had a good, obviously he's in great shape and everything, but he didn't have this equipment and this kind of technology around. But in terms of just on the court effort, man, it's rough. Like I said, we're going to be comparing these dudes forever. There's never going to be a clear-cut winner. But I'm going to take this over to football for a second. When Brady won that last championship, I put him as the best quarterback of all time. And I'm with you. I think if LeBron can win this title and be, like you said, be as dominant as he's been this year, because like I said, he led the league in assists at 35. I don't remember, like I said, I might be wrong, but I don't think Michael led the league in scoring at 35, or if he was even playing at that point. Also, just we know that they both have, I'm always going to say that Michael's going to be the most clutch performer, because we've seen him do it countless times. But I'm not knocking LeBron at all. We've seen how clutch he can be. We've seen how many finals he can get to. He's been out of the last 10 NBA finals, he's been in 9 of them. And the reason he wasn't in 19 is because he had that, I think, groin strain that put him out for a good bit of the year. And the Lakers weren't looking that great either. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 years in the finals and you're in the finals. You get to the last step, of being great. And I don't know exactly how many Michael was in off the top of my head, but just to get your team there and be the most valuable person on your team, you can debate, like I said, like with Davis this year, but to be just the star of your team in year 17 at age 35 and to lead the league in assists and just be a menace on, the offensive board as well. I will say that if LeBron can get this win in this championship, and especially if he can sweep them, because the way it's looking, that's how it might turn out. And if he can sweep the Heat, his old team, as we know, I'll put him above Michael. But like I said, no disrespect to Michael, of course, he's one of the best of all time. But yeah, if LeBron can get this title, I'll put him over Michael.
I agree, man. And honestly, if you sit back and think about it, ask yourself, is Jordan the best player? Is he even better than Kareem? Somebody who done it on the college level and in the NBA, won 6 championships, won the championships, the most points ever scored in the NBA history, have the most unstoppable shot in the game. I mean, you have to question yourself, is he really the best player in the game? But but at the end of the day, they're all great. They all go down as history as the greatest of all that ever laced them up. Yeah. But hey, we just love talking about them.
That's just our opinions.
Yeah. Hey, well, man, Logan, it's nice having you on the show. Let everybody know what they can expect from you on this network in the next coming weeks as well.
Yeah, man, I got a lot coming on. Like I said, if you guys ever need me to come on and do a little bit of work for y'all, be a little guest analyst, I'm more than happy to come on. But I'm also going to be starting a show here with our boy Big Shaw in the near future called The Sports Corner. We're going to be getting that ready just a little bit. We don't have a time frame for it at the moment, but we're looking forward to that. We're going to be talking about really just anything sports related. So we're ready to get that started in the near future. And like I said, I'll be appearing randomly throughout some shows, just give my takes on anything that's going on.
All right. Well, we asked everybody if you can like this video, comment on this video, like our page, follow our page, share our content. It'd be highly appreciated. This is the All Sports All Plays Network. Your host, Freddie Henderson, and we have Mr. Logan, our co-host, Mr. Logan, tonight. You guys have a wonderful night.